just a fair warning, this next slide's quite intense. It's quite dense material, but I'm really going to walk you through it a few times with some case studies of clients I've worked with. And again, it's just giving you a model to help you understand this, okay? So this is the NLP Communication Model. It's a model to help you better understand how we perceive reality and ultimately how our student athletes are perceiving their reality and how we can support their change. So as a human, an external event and or something, information comes in from the external world. So it's believed 200 million bits of information is coming to us in every second. That passes through our five senses: our sight, sound, touch, taste, smell. We've got our five senses, goes into our inner world, and it doesn't necessarily make any sense yet, does it? So we are the meaning makers. We give a meaning to the outside world, okay? So in order to do that, in order to make sense of 2 million bits of information every second, we have to delete, distort, and generalize all that information down. And how do we do that? We do that by filtering it through our beliefs, our values, our language, our decisions, our attitudes, our memories, intentions, and a few other things. And when we do this, we create a filter. It builds an internal representation in our mind of what that means, okay? Of what that means. And okay, so I'm just going to go all the way through this and then we'll come back around and explain it more. Then from there, that means X, Y, Z. We have an internal representation. We get into an emotional state. It affects our physiology. And then it affects our behavior. Okay. So now I want to tell you about a case study of a student athlete who I worked with some time ago. She had an injury at the beginning of a season, and she began to cycle some negative thoughts and developed very, very bad performance anxiety. So a mistake would happen in soccer. So it's an outside event. It's a mistake, a quote. She labeled this a mistake, right? Because, you know, a thing happened. She didn't get the result she wanted, and an outside event happened. She filtered that through her five senses, through her beliefs, and she gave it the meaning. She gave this mistake the meaning that mistakes mean that I am falling behind, and if I fall behind, I will not achieve my dream, which is to play college D1 soccer. In which case, everything that I've done has been a waste of my time and I have no purpose. So when we truly got into this young girl's mind, this is what she was feeling. So she was representing just a normal mistake that happens in every game, as she won't make it to D1 soccer, and her whole purpose, she's got no purpose, okay? And she created this internal representation of, I've got no purpose, I'm falling behind, and she would feel a sense of panic. And of course she would. She felt like everything was on the line, right? That would get her tense. She would get really tense in her physiology, and she would end up playing worse because it wasn't, and it would just cycle like that, right? It would just cycle like that. She would play worse because she was tense, then she would get more negative results from that. Okay, and through our work together, we came into this part. Okay, we changed the meaning that she was giving to her mistakes we changed this. In this case, we changed her meaning to mistakes are a learning opportunity. And for some of you here with performance anxiety, you could maybe try this on for yourself. So mistakes are a learning opportunity. They make me better. Mistakes are just one moment in my career, nothing more. And we also spent time on her self-esteem, teaching her how to stop comparing herself to others, and giving her a few sustainability practices. And she was back to her high level self within 7 weeks, totally free of performance anxiety. Okay, and now another case study of a young 11-year-old girl. This is a little bit different. This 11-year-old girl with great parents, by the way, fantastic, beautiful parents. She kept breaking down each game. She would break down crying. And a mistake wouldn't even have to happen in this girl's case. She was break down crying. Now, what was the external information, the external event that this girl had to witness in order to break down crying? So in this girl's case, it was the look on her parents' face. Okay, she would look out onto the sideline, and she would see her parents' face. And this is something we're going to go into, but she would mind read. She would think, she would think she knew what the parents were thinking, and she would filter it through her filters, create an internal representation. And in this girl's situation, one of her filters were she truly believed this, and her parents were beautiful, by the way. She truly believed that if she didn't do her best, her parents didn't love her. Okay, and you imagine what an 11-year-old would do if she truly felt this, and what emotional state that would put her in. So the love from her parents is on the line in this case. And that obviously put her in a tense physiology, and she didn't play very well, and it would cycle like this. Okay. So after several weeks of working together, we worked on the fear of making mistakes, taught her how to learn from her mistakes. We cleared up some other areas, developed her thinking skills, developed her thinking just in general. And 4 weeks into our time together, she opened up to me, and this belief popped up that about her parents not loving her, like kind of loving her unconditionally. She based on her parents' facial expressions and the way her parents responded to her. And again, I told you they're great parents, and they were so surprised to hear this when it popped out. And this young girl was crying to me when she opened up about this, and at this point, she was open enough for me to go and take her through a belief change pattern. And we replaced that belief with, my parents love me unconditionally. And we reinforced that. And over a few weeks, that became a self-fulfilling belief for her. And now she truly believes that her parents love her unconditionally, which is the truth, of course. And now she can win, lose, or anything, and she is solid emotionally. Okay. Now, I hope that makes a little bit of sense, and you're starting to get a bit more of an understanding of how we work as human beings. So this is a great model for that. Okay. So what meaning are we giving to things for the results we're getting?